So, you've got your ship, you've outfitted it, probably for an all-round performance, and you have fully A-rated every module that you can. So you may be thinking, is that it? Is that this ship actually finished? Is it time to either upgrade it or buy a new ship? Well, no. In fact, you've really only just started, because you are able to get plenty more performance out of the ship that you've put together. And I do mean plenty. And to do that, you need to use engineers. Now, I'll cover engineers in more detail in the final video of this whole particular segment. So I'm going to break this up into 3 parts, and this is covering using engineers, getting access to them, and perhaps more importantly, gathering the materials that you need once you've got access to engineers, because although you don't actually pay for any of the upgrades that you get, you do need materials, quite a lot of materials. So for this one, we'll cover what is actually the easiest of the materials to get, but explaining how to get it makes it sound a lot more complicated and a lot more convoluted than it actually is. And they are the raw materials, which are all elemental stuff, all stuff you will find on the periodic table. Now we're in the George Pantazis system, and we're docked at a Zemka platform. And this is actually a pretty good system to come to if you need raw materials, for several reasons. Firstly, it has a material trader here, and it is a trader of raw materials. Now let's cut to the chase. You really don't need to use a raw material trader. Raw materials are pretty easy to find, and unless you are determined to cut as many corners as you possibly can, you really don't need to bother with actually trading any of them. I mean, essentially, if you land on a planet, you are going to find the materials that are there. It's just a matter of time, a matter of how patient are you. Now, of course, there's always exceptions. And if you've seen the last video, the mining video, yeah, you'll have seen that. Yeah, you would have seen that. But also, you will have seen that you can get materials, raw materials, from mining. You extract them just as you're extracting fragments. And your collector will go and pick them up and bring them back. Now, 3 materials in particular, rhenium here, lead and boron, that's the only way you can get those 3. You have to get those through mining or through a material trader. You are not going to find them on planet surfaces. Thankfully, as far as any actual engineering goes, you don't need any of these 3. They're used for different things. Rhenium is used, I think it's used in synthesis, but it's certainly used in unlocking tech broker items. Lead and boron are used purely in synthesis, and in the case of boron, it's used in the synthesis of ammo of a weapon that you are never going to use. no one uses it. It's used in the flechette launcher, and yeah, no one uses it. It's shit. It started off okay. It got nerfed, a word I hate, but there you go. And after it got nerfed, it was useless. So that's those three. But all the rest, yes, you can get them from mining asteroids, but by far the best way of getting them is on planet surfaces, which means that you need an SRV. So, which planets to go to? Well, this is the system map of the George Fantasis system, and I have mapped all of the surfaces of planets that you can land on. It's also worth mapping, yeah, that planet there, Earth-like world. Got a decent bit of value to it. Now, when you move the mouse over to a particular planet, obviously not gas giants because they don't have surfaces and you can't land on them anyway. At the bottom here, in this particular tab, at the bottom there, it will show you a list of planet materials, and it tells you all of the materials that you will get from the surface of that planet. This is a high metal content world. I only go to high metal content worlds, but effectively, if you can land on a planet, regardless of type, high metal, metal rich, rocky, icy, they all have materials. And next to each one, you'll see like the percentage. Obviously, the higher the percentage, the better chance, you know, the more likely you are to find it. Now, high metal content worlds will always have iron, nickel, sulfur, carbon, and phosphorus. And they are all grade 1 materials. They are the most common. And yeah, every high metal content world will have those. But it's the grades 2, 3 and 4 where things start to vary. So on this particular planet, A2, you will also find chromium, zinc, vanadium. That's the 3 class 2s. Then you'll find 2 class 3s, and in this case it's molybdenum and tungsten. And then finally 1 class 4 raw material, which is tellurium. If we look here, A6, this is the planet that the docking station I'm in orbits. So again, the all the grade 1s, the 5 usual suspects. For grade 2, chromium, vanadium again, and this time also germanium. For grade 3, tungsten and mercury, and the grade 4 one is technetium. Take a look at this one. This one here, again, all the usual grade 1s. The grade 2s, chromium again, manganese, arsenic. Arsenic is probably the most difficult of the grade 2s to find. And then the grade 3s are niobium and mercury. Mercury is another one that is planets that have it. It's often quite rare. And in this case, mercury, there is 1%, and yttrium is the grade 4, 1.3%. So there's actually more of the grade 4 material on this planet than there is of the second grade 3. With metal-rich planets here, you will see that yeah, it has 2 of the grade 1s, iron and nickel. Well, that's it. It doesn't have any of the non-metallic grade 1s, so there's no carbon, no sulfur, no phosphorus. And I always thought that that meant there were no non-metallic elements to be found on metal rich. But this planet here has 2.6% selenium. Selenium is a non-metal, so obviously that doesn't work out. Selenium is definitely a material that is worth grabbing for reasons I'll explain in a few minutes. So yeah, this one will give you iron, nickel, chromium, zinc, selenium, molybdenum, mercury and antimony. You'll notice the percentages here, they're actually higher than on high metal content world. Perhaps not surprisingly, metal rich as opposed to metal or high metal content. Yeah, you'd expect so. So yeah, you just move the mouse over the planet there and you'll see all of the materials that are available to you. And in this system, most of the planets will have, between them they have pretty much all of the raw materials available. Which is why I like coming to this system if I need raw materials. Now I'll just come back to the material trader and I'll cover what I was saying about selenium. Now you'll notice here that selenium is a grade 4 material. It just goes in the columns, grade 1, 2, 3, 4. Fucking simple. So yeah, selenium is classed as a grade 4 according to the material traders. So if you are trading down, you'll get 6 tin for one of these. You'll get 36 zinc. This doesn't look right. Yeah, I'm doing it the other way around. So let's yeah. So say you want iron, you'll get 27 iron for one selenium. Yeah, if you want zinc, you'll get 9 zinc for one selenium, or you'll get 3 tin for one selenium. And even if you are cross trading, which is not a great idea, but if you need to do it, so you'll get 9 sulfur, or in fact 9 of any other grade 1 material for 2 selenium. You'll get 3 of any other grade 2 material for 2 selenium. You'll get 1 of any other grade 3, one of those for 2 selenium. And with the grade 4s, yeah, this is where cross trading really is not a good idea. 6 of your selenium will get you 1 of any other grade 4. But the reason why selenium is a good one to use for trading is the fact that even though it's showing as a grade 4 here, the game actually treats it as a grade 2. So it is a lot more common than any other grade 4 by a distance. So if you go to a planet that has selenium, you'll find far more of it than you will of any of the other grade 4s. The other thing is that because the game treats it as a grade 2, and it actually lists them among the grade 2s of the materials that you'll find on the planet, it means that there will be another actual grade 4 also on that planet's surface. A lot of the time for me, I'm on planets that have both selenium and tellurium. I go through a lot of those with the engineering that I do on my ships. So yeah, selenium is definitely one that is worth getting. So, how do you actually collect it? Well, we've got a planet nice and close to us, George Fantasis A6. So let's make our way there. Might do a bit of a jump cut until we are closer to actually landing. Or maybe I won't do a jump cut. This is quite handy. So we are more or less on the date line here between night and day. Now, obviously, I say obviously, there are still people out there who would need this pointed out to them. it would be better to land on the side that is in daylight, because you can see, which is handy. So that is what we're going to do, and that is what I recommend doing. Now you can see I've already mapped the surface of this planet, and I do like to have what's the mode called? Analysis mode active, because it just makes the planet's surface clearer to see. So we'll approach the surface here, and I personally like to land inside craters because I don't know if it's accurate or not, but I always get the impression that there are more signals from when you're actually inside a crater, rather than just around any of the flat areas on the planet's surface itself. So I don't know if that is true, I don't know if that's accurate, it's just how it seems to me. Now I also like to land in craters that have a nice flat surface, or at least as close to flat as possible. I mean, this one doesn't look brilliant, but it looks okay. Now, obviously this is purely personal preference. Another personal preference of mine is I like to land on planets that have at least a gravity of 1. This one's a bit low. This is 0.8. I mean, it's not, terribly low. It's still lower than I prefer. The higher the gravity, the more I prefer it. Well, to a degree. I don't really like landing on National 3 all that many times, but yeah, that has a gravity of is it 6? Yeah, that's a bit much. So, find a nice flat area. And yeah, this doesn't look too bad. We'll just move away from rough. And once you reach 150 meters above the surface, you will then get the reading telling you if this is suitable terrain or not. Alright, seem to be okay here. Well, it's not exactly a billiard table where I'm landing, but we're down. Alright, we'll jump into the SRV and out we go. So I always deploy cargo scoot straight away. I also make sure we're in combat mode, because you need the repeater, the weapon. Now another reason why I like to use, or I like to land in craters, is so that I can use like the central peak as, a fixed point, so I know I'm always going in one direction. I'll also turn off the light. You certainly don't need it around here. Now once you're in the SRV, you still got your sensors working just as they do when you're in your ship. But other than giving you a sort of general idea of the terrain that you are traversing, it's pretty useless the majority of the time. So what you need to use is the wave scanner, which is that thing above it with like the radar line constantly going from left to right. And on there you'll see and hear a variety of different signals, and we've been a bit lucky. We've got 3 of the surface signals all in close proximity. So this one that I'm sort of facing now, you can hear those sort of clicking sounds. It sounds a bit like a dolphin almost. I'll shut up so you can listen to it a bit. Okay, so that is for a bronzite chondrite signal. As you drive around on the surface of planets and that, you'll get to memorize like the different types. So visually, you know, just keep a watch on what that signal looks like, because the bronzite chondrite signals always produce that same visual effect on the wave scanner. Now this is probably like the most basic of all of the signals you'll find, and as you can see, as we drive towards it, we can see that there's two of them. But once it gets in range, you can then target it. Now you know exactly which way to go. So, we're in range, fire away, and there you go. You blasted the materials out of it. If we have a look, we'll see that we've got chromium, sulfur and carbon. Now, I'm maxed out on every single raw material, so I can't pick any of these up. All you would simply do, have your cargo scoop deployed, you know, target the material that you want, just drive over it, and you will pick it up if you are not maxed out on the thing. Notice also that they don't stay there forever. You'll see that its integrity is constantly dropping, so it does deteriorate. So that is bronzite chondrite signal. There's another one here, so we'll go and take a look at this one. Now obviously when you're just starting out, and basically you want to go to every single signal source you find. I thought I was a bit, here we go. So this one, iron, carbon, iron, chromium. Again, just pick the lot up. Yeah, when you're starting out, you have no reason to be fussy about which ones you pick up. So yeah, just grab the lot. Now I'll just point out here, you can see this very large signal which is appearing further up the wave scanner readout. That's your ship, so don't pay too much attention to that one. So next I'm going to take a bit of a chance, because it's this signal here. Now again, this one, it makes the same clicking sound as the bronzite chondrite one, but you can see the two thin bars are spread further apart. So this is an outcrop, or a specific type of outcrop. I always refer to it as a non-metallic outcrop, but it's not entirely accurate. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to go and check that one out yet, because if we look over here, now this one, you can see, again, you can clearly see the two separate bars, but they are closer together. Now this is a signal you really want to look out for, and if you are hunting raw materials on a planet's surface and you find that signal, you will want to go and check it out. You don't want to ignore that one. This will be one of two. It will either be a different type of outcrop, or it will be a metallic meteorite. And if you are after like the really rare materials, or the really rare raw materials on a planet's surface, this is the signal source that gives you the best chance of finding them. So let's go and see what this one has. Now, like I say, I'm maxed out on them all, so I know whatever it's got, I don't need it. I don't need any of them. But even if you're starting out, and therefore you need as many basic ones as you do, you know, the rarer types, you still don't want to ignore these. So it is an outcrop, not a metallic meteorite. That is not a disaster, but there is a chance with outcrops that it will be full of just the same common stuff you can find everywhere else. So let's see what we've got here with this one. Yeah, and this is one. Sulfur, nickel, phosphorus, iron. All grade 1 materials. So there is nothing rare there at all. Phosphorus though is definitely worth picking up. Because although it's a grade 1, the chances are there will be at least one grade 2 material that is more common on the planet's surface than phosphorus is. Another thing I always do when I find phosphorus, and particularly if I find phosphorus and sulfur together, and this is something that you cannot do on metal rich planets, because of course there is no sulfur or phosphorus here. If you're going to be driving around on a planet's surface and you think you're going to be there a long old time, particularly if you think, fuck it, I'm going to go and max out my you know, materials count for whatever this planet has got, which I strongly recommend. Your chances are you're going to at some point get low on ammo, not ammo, on fuel. So you may get low on ammo. So you head into the inventory and you go down to the bottom tab here, which is synthesis, and you can basically resupply your SRV's fuel. Now to do it, you need sulfur and phosphorus, and that's one of the reasons why I wait until I've found sulfur and phosphorus, so that I can instantly replenish the materials I've used in this basic refueling. Now you can do, you know, an additional sort of level of refueling. So if you do this one, instead of basic, you do the standard. For this you need 1 sulfur, 1 phosphorus, 1 arsenic and 1 mercury. And that will give you a bonus of plus 100% fuel efficiency. In other words, your fuel will last twice as long. Or you can go all the way and do a premium, which needs 1 sulfur, 1 arsenic, 1 mercury and 1 technetium. And that gives you a bonus of plus 200% fuel efficiency. So your fuel will last 3 times as long. I never bother with that because I just don't see the point really. Sulfur and phosphorus are easy enough to find if you are not on a metal rich planet. And yeah, so just refuel them as you find them. The other thing is your ammo restock. If you're doing the basic, and with the SRV there is no reason at all to do anything other than basic. The standard, the premium, forget it, absolutely pointless. But this also uses sulfur and phosphorus, and if you notice there, it uses 2 sulfur, 1 phosphorus, and your refuel uses 1 sulfur and 1 phosphorus. So if you do them both together, it will use 3 sulfur, 2 phosphorus. Well, each sample you find adds 3 of that particular material to your inventory. So I've got 1 phosphorus there targeted. If I pick that up, it will add 3 of it to my inventory there. So whenever you're doing the refuel, you may as well do the ammo restock at exactly the same time. You're going to be no worse off. So what I'll do, actually no, I won't do it because they're about to expire. So the next time I find any, I'll show you the synthesis in action. Now we've been a bit lucky here because we have another one of these, what I call non-metallic signal sources that has cropped up. So let's go and head towards that and see what is in here. Now with these ones, it's a bit hard to actually predict what's going to be in it. A lot of the time, yes, it will be pretty worthless stuff again, or pretty basic stuff. But occasionally you will find something half decent. And to be fair, you could even say the same about bronzite chondrite. There have been times when I've found, checked out what they've got, and they've got stuff like, well, certainly more valuable than anything here. So we've got vanadium, we've got 2 lots of phosphorus. So, yeah, if you're starting out, that's a real bonus. 2 nickel and carbon. We have another one that's quite close by, so we'll check that one out. So this one has vanadium, carbon, sulfur, chromium, nickel. You may have noticed there on my sensors, my ship has just buggered off. Once you get to a certain range, I think it's about 3 kilometres, your ship automatically leaves. Don't panic, bringing it back is easy. In fact, you can even send it away. And if I'm on a planet surface doing salvage hunting, which these days is what I do fairly often, yeah, it's best to send your ship away at the earliest point that you can anyway. So I found 3 of the surface signals for gathering raw materials. There is a 4th, so what I'm going to do is a jump cut here, and if I find that particular signal or one of the other signal sources that you want to keep a lookout for, we'll be back yeah, when I do. Alright, so I've just checked this outcrop, and here we have iron, nickel and vanadium. You may have noticed as you're driving around in your SRV, it is quite fragile, and it takes damage, well, almost constantly. So again, with the synthesis, you can repair your SRV, and basic repair simply needs 2 iron and 1 nickel. That's all it needs. Again, you can do standard, which this requires 3 nickel, 1 manganese, 2 vanadium, 1 molybdenum. That gives you a bonus of 50% hull strength. And then the premium, so you need for this one 1 zinc, 2 chromium, 2 vanadium, 1 tungsten, 1 tellurium, and that doubles your hull strength. Again, I never bother doing either of those, I just stick with the basic. So you repair your SRV, there we go. And you can see now that it's back up to 100%, and then we can just grab the iron and the nickel there we go, and they are back up to max. Iron and nickel, both very, very common, very easy to find, and yet because your SRV is so fragile, it's not a bad idea actually to just keep on synthesizing repairs whenever you find any iron and nickel, once you've got enough of it for or once you what you consider to be enough. For me, that's once I'm maxed out on it. If I'm not maxed out on a particular material of any kind, then as far as I'm concerned, I haven't got enough of it. So here, nickel, germanium, 3 vanadium. Certainly not bad for if you're starting out. That's a pretty good result. Last outcrop, so there are a few all floating around. So this one, 2 nickel, 1 iron and vanadium, so I could do another repair, but I'm at 97%, I don't really need to. Now we're just starting to see, if you look very carefully on the wave scanner here, you'll see that a signal is emerging, but now instead of being around the bottom, it's at the very top of the wave scanner's display. That means it is something that is man-made. It's not a deposit of any of the raw materials. Now this will be either a crashed communications satellite, or it will be a crashed nav beacon. More often than not, it's a crashed nav beacon. So let's head in the direction of it. Now the signals from either of these are very, very strong. Now you'll see that on the display it's now disappeared, but if you listen, you can still hear it. So the signal hasn't gone, it's just that something else has come along that's closer to us than that particular like man-made object. And this is the 4th type of material, natural deposit. So this is a mesosiderite, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, however you pronounce it. It's one of those deposits. So this one, yes, it just consists of a single line, and instead of making the clicking sound of a, you know, that the outcrop or the bronzite chondrite signals make, this one makes more of a sort of like whining sound. It's the same as the metallic meteorite signal. It produces that same sort of like whining sound. Now because I'm in an area where I'm getting a whole mix of signals, you can hear it, but you can't hear it all that clearly. It sort of sounds like a sort of robotic whine almost. As we get closer, hopefully it will become louder. See it. It's there. Now this is often a good source for grade 3 materials, so these are good ones to find. And in this case, there we go, we've got 2 mercury and 1 chromium. 2 mercury in particular, they are definitely worth having. And now right here, we've also got either an outcrop or a metallic meteorite. The curiosity is getting the better of me. So let's see what is there. And we are also seeing another new signal type appear. So it looks like this is going to be an outcrop though. We can already see it. Yeah, there it is. So chromium, carbon, vanadium, chromium. Again, an outcrop that really doesn't have very much there. But again, if you are just starting out, grab the lot. Never turn any of it down. Now, as we are here, let's keep going to this crashed man-made signal. And it's a crashed communication satellite. So what you do with this, target the data point once you're able to, and you use your data link scanner. So you scan it, Now, although it says unable to receive data with storage full, that's because I'm maxed out on all of the encoded materials as well. But if you find one of these, scanning it, it will give you yeah, encoded materials. Now they are really a complete bonus. You're not down here looking specifically for those, or if you are, you're going to be driving around for a long time and not getting a great deal. On top of that, if you do get them, you'll get like a notification here telling you what they are. But on top of that, you also get, yeah, a data point package worth a few credits, 8,633, and that is for the Empire, so you have to take it to an Imperial system to cash it in. Right, now we've got this signal here. You can see it's not on the bottom there, it's right in the middle. Now this again is a man-made signal, and this is almost certainly cargo canisters that have been abandoned as salvage. And these days, if I'm driving around on a planet's surface in an SRV, this is the signal I'm looking for. So let's go and take a look. Now I have already had a look on this planet for salvage. It's not very good, or at least it wasn't last time. The other thing is that salvage is often guarded by skimmers, so you will be entering combat, though trust me, it is not difficult. Now with the salvage, as well as cargo canisters, you will more often than not find at least one manufactured material. Again, that's a bonus. It's not really what you're here for, so whatever type of material it is, you grab it. So here we go. Right, so we're approaching the, you'll see that red box that's appearing on the sensors. That's the trespass zone. Enter there, and yeah, whoever it is who owns this salvage won't be too pleased. And these sentry skimmers that are here, they will then start firing on you. Now I've already checked when I targeted them, these ones are wanted, so you can just fire away, and as you'll see, yeah, they're not hard. So we'll take out each of those. There's a third one there. Alright, there we go, all down. You only get 1,000 for destroying skimmers. So here we are now seeing an awful lot of signals, because yeah, all of this salvage is all spread out. So if we take a look and see what we've got. Now this is actually pretty good. So much so, what I'm going to do is recall my ship.
Ship recalled.
Recalling your ship is as simple as that. Because there's some good valuable stuff here that I want to grab. So we'll start off with the platinum. There you go, defense systems activation detected. I've already destroyed all of their defense systems though, so yeah, big deal. So just as when we were at the Thargoid barnacle sites, you've only got the cargo capacity of 2, so this is why I've recalled my ship, because now I want to drop off what I pick up from here, drop it off to the ship, and then come back for the rest of it. I won't grab everything, but I will certainly grab the palladium and the superconductors. Power generators are not fussed about. Bootleg liquor is fucking worthless, so now I don't know what the fuck has gone on there, but my ship has just left. So let's try that again. I really don't like recalling the ship, because it's one of these things where for no reason at all there will be times when it just doesn't work. So here it's just gone for no reason. There are other times where it will stay like very close to the surface, but it won't actually land. You can't do anything with it until it has actually landed. You can't use the fucking thing. You can't transfer cargo, you can't return to the ship. You've got to wait for it to actually land. And if it is hovering above the surface, it will, you can't then dismiss it again. You go here and you'll have that ship approaching, but you won't actually be able to dismiss it. So let's see. Yeah, it's done it again. And the really fucking annoying thing about this is that unless I travel some distance from here, let's put a bit of distance away, it will keep on doing this. And the only way to stop it will be to exit the game and return to the main menu and then reload it. But if you do that, that cache that I just found there with those other two salvaged items, that'll be gone, because that's just randomly placed. Right, so let's now try it again.
Ship recalled.
It's things like this that are why I used to get so fucked off with the game. Glitches like this, when it comes to like recalling your ship and having your ship landing, they've been here since Horizon was released. No, I'm not exaggerating, it has been that long. And the issue has been fixed time after time after time, but never permanently. So let's see what the fuck it's going to do this time. So the landing gear's down, and it's buggered off again. So it is not going to actually even attempt to land. So I've got no option. I have to reset the instance, which means that those other two canisters that I wanted to pick up, the superconductors and the palladium, I'm going to lose those through no fault of my own. I haven't done anything to warrant losing them, but I can't pick them up because the cargo hold of my SRV is full. And well, I'll do the reset here. So yeah, I'm right on top of them. There you go. So palladium and superconductors, see they're there, but I've now got to exit to the main menu. And now reload it. And there you go. It's gone. And now it's gone, there is a chance that the ship might actually fucking attempt to land now. So let's see what it does. There you go. Now it's actually trying to land. You'll see if it does, because the signal on your wave scanner will change. That is taking a long time. You know what? It's not doing it. So this is now illustrating the other thing I was saying. looks like it's down, but if it's down, the engines will switch off. If we go under here to the light, you'll see that the board ship option never appears, but I'm right underneath it, but the option's not there. And if I yeah, press the options here, I've got ship approaching. It finally did it. So yeah, until it actually touches down, that took a ridiculously long time. So I can now transfer the cargo, and well, it took so long for it seems to be fucking up, so I'm getting the fuck out of it. Now, the good news is that this constant fuck up with the ship landing doesn't happen often. I'm almost glad actually though that it happened while I was recording this, because otherwise it sounds like I'd be moaning about it and I've got, you know, I'll have nothing to back up what I'm saying. Well, you've just seen what it's like. It's not just a fucking pain in the ass, it is fucking inexcusable. How long has Horizon's been out for now? What, 3 years? I think it's been out, I think it may even be longer than that. 4 years. And it's never been fixed. Never been fixed. What they say is, oh yeah, it's been fixed now because people don't report it. And so as far as Frontier developments go, it not being reported means that they can then ignore it. But in fact, people constantly moaning about it all the time. Anyway, so you've seen like the 4 signal types for the natural deposits for the raw materials. You've also seen the signal types for you know, crashed man-made objects. In this case, it was the communications satellite. So you can get bonus raw materials, bonus encoded materials from that. And then at the other signal source that I showed, where there was the abandoned cargo, yeah, you can grab cargo which you can sell or do whatever you want with it. And a lot of the time, you'll also find some bonus manufactured materials there. So, yeah, driving around in your SRV, it's not just going after raw materials. They will definitely be your priority. That will be the main reason you're driving around here. But you will also get the chance to find, you know, occasional encoded and manufactured. So, yeah, there we go. So that's how to collect raw materials. That really is all there is to it. Just drive around, follow the signals, blast the natural deposit there, and gather up the materials that you get from it. And that, along with the mining that I showed in the previous video, that's the only ways of getting raw materials for the most part. There are specific sites where you can get them in other ways, but they involve doing exactly the same thing. You're still in your SRV, you're still shooting at a particular deposit, and you'll still get the raw material the same way. So, but for those, I'll let you discover them. I'll teach you the basics, but there's still stuff to discover. There are also plenty of other signal types that your wave scanner will pick up. And again, I'll let you discover what they are. Because yeah, there's plenty more to find on Planet Services than what I have just shown you in this video. So there we go. That is how to collect raw materials from the planet's surface, and it's also an unintended demonstration of how this game can piss you off by, you know, recalling your ship and then it just not wanting to know. So it doesn't happen a lot, but it happens far too many times for my liking, and I don't think it's ever going to be fixed. It's been 4 years and it's still here, so yeah, it's just going to stay that way. Anyway, I've got some cargo to take back to my fleet carrier. So that is part 1 of this guide done. In the second part we will go into gathering encoded and manufactured materials. You've seen one way, using the SRV, but it is by no means the best way. There are far easier and quicker ways of gathering plenty more manufactured and encoded materials, so we'll go into that in part 2. In the meantime, go away.